Welcome. Today I would like to talk about the CSS flex and the auto prefixer, and let's get started. So basically, just to start, I have an HTML file with basically a div and showing three images, and you can see those three images are of different size, and I would like to kind of demonstrate how you can use flex CSS. And so let's get started. Essentially, what you want to do is I have this modified div with different classes set up. So all I'm going to do is the outer div is going to have a class called flex container, and all the items or images in this case will have a CSS class called flex items. And that's all the change I have done here. And if you look at the style.css, for the container, I'm specifying the display is flex. That's where the attribute comes in. Instead of something else like block or inline block, we are using a flex. This is actually a little bit more versatile. I'll show you. And in the item, flex item, all I'm saying is the flex is equal to 1, which is basically, it has three parameters. The first parameter has to do with growth, and I'm saying it can grow as much as 1. So that's all really there is to it in terms of using the basic flex. I've also used something else here. It says justify content is a space around the items. So if I just make that particular change and run this, you can see that all of them are resized equally and separated. And if I try to do this, you can see it works pretty good. So that is actually the basic usage of Flex. In terms of how you use it, what you want to look at is go to this website called CSS Tricks and search for Flexbox. Basically, there are two axes. One is called the main axis, and this other one is called the cross axis. And the main axis can either be as shown here, which is horizontal, or it could be vertical. And inside the container, you have various flex items. And obviously, if the main axis was this way, you can start from main here and end main here. And if the cross axis was this way, you can say cross start and cross end. And those are the basic values. For the uh, parent, the value obviously is display is flex, which we have already shown. You can set up various directions here. You could have row reverse, column reverse. You could have some things for flex wrap, which is basically wrap or no wrap. And for flex shrink, you can specify value whether you can whether you can shrink. And flex basis is essentially the initial value you can set it up for. And here is the flex shorthand that we used. First parameter was flex grow, second is flex shrink and flex basis. And in our case, we just set flex grow to be 1. And there are some other alignment parameters as well. So this is a little bit more flexible way of doing things as opposed to just using display block or inline block. And you can accomplish a lot more with this, for example. So one other thing I wanted to kind of touch in here is to be able to use a plugin called Autoprefixer, which is a good plugin because it will allow you to generate in your CSS items that will be useful for backwards compatibility with older browsers. And the way to use it is there's a plugin for Grunt you can call Autoprefixer, and to install it is pretty straightforward. You just have to install two items, and once you get the Grunt Autoprefixer installed, you can set it up so that it can take an original value of style.css and generate the style auto css, which you can include in your development. And let me just run this plugin here for a second. If I run this plugin, you can see unable to find the grunt file. Oh, well, sorry. I just have a different grunt file here specified. So let me just run the right command. History. So if I look at it, it's going to be grunt file rank 879. So it ran and created this auto prefix style sheet, and as you can see, it's going to create a file called style auto.css. So if I look at that, here you can see that my original file style.css just had display flex, and this one obviously has more parameters generated for various other older browsers specific for WebKit and Microsoft. So this is actually a good way to generate CSS. You can specify the standard CSS and generate a file using this plugin. So hopefully you know how to use this, and this should get you started. Thank you for watching this short screencast. If you want to know more, you can go to my website Gaur Associates and search for these and other videos. Thank you very much.